Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Who Knows. Before we get into the episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who took the time to watch the first episode. Man, I can't thank you guys enough because I generally thought that because so many years have passed since my last time doing reviews, that there wouldn't be anyone out there to really care or of my opinions of Doctor Who. But it has really given me the confidence to come back and do this, and I want to say a massive thank you. Now, I did say in that episode that I would be going to have a guest on for this episode series review, but unfortunately, we had the storm that came in, and this is what happened to my place. Yeah. So because of that, I have to stay here to repair the house and get everything up and going. So unfortunately, I'll be doing the review again, me and you, 1-to-1 again. Hopefully we will be ready to do the Christmas special just came out there recently with a guest. So stay tuned for that. So this is the first proper jump into the Russell series, and we get the Christmas special. And I believe it's the first Christmas special we've had in quite some time. I could be wrong. It's been a while. I haven't really kept up to date with Who news, but I do believe it is the first Christmas special. And I do remember there was a lot of hype, like, "Oh my God, we're getting a Christmas special. What are we going to get? It's going to be amazing." We get goblins. We get pirate goblins, time traveling goblins. Yeah. Like all Russell stories, it's a world building thing. So we start off with um, Ruby Sunday, which is a really good character. Really do like this character and like her dynamic with the Doctor. We also get to see a wee bit more of the Doctor, but personally for me, it's like the regeneration sequence is always like I don't consider that as what is this Doctor going to be. It's basically they're forming, they're crystallizing. I said that in the previous review, but this is now the time to be what Doctor you're going to be, and I kind of went, they kind of knocked me sideways because they done the whole big song and dance routine musical. I was kind of going to myself, is this what Doctor Who's going to be now? Musical parade, and we're going to have this type of thing. It did knock me out of the whole episode. And yeah, having goblins, space traveling goblins that sing to their king while they're sacrificing a child. Yeah, it's a wackadoo episode, and hey, don't take it too seriously. I don't take the Christmas special serious because I don't really see them. I think it's like a throwaway episode, just a little bit of fun, and I was like, okay, okay, Russell, okay, this is just to have a bit of fun, that's fine, okay. We're getting into the real series, right? We're getting into the serious stuff, okay? Yes, good. Then we get space babies. Babies in space. I swear to Almighty Jeppus that was the biggest mic drop when I was like, "Oh, all my fears have been answered. Christ, the Lord above, babies in space." It's like, really, it feels to me like Series 4 again, where this knocked me completely off Series 4. This was just like, oh sweet God, no. So correct me if I'm wrong, I could be getting this wrong, but like they're a colony that's going to a planet, and the concept, if I'm correct, is they are children in suspended isolation animation. And by the time they get to the planet, they will be fully fledged adults, and they have a machine that's basically the nanny that'll look after them and take care of them and stuff. And then some weird wackadoo crazy stuff happens, and their fears manifest into the boogeyman. this creature that's racking the crap out of the spaceship, and these people have these crew members have been activated too quickly, and they're adults trapped in babies, so it's baby's day out in space. It's just like, why? Why? I, Still, this was still a bit of a hit and miss for me, because the Doctor's, to me, not really the Doctor yet. Like, it's still like, we don't know what this Doctor is. First he was dancing around singing to space goblins, now he's running around a ship fighting an imaginary creature that's actually manifested into a real creature. It is just so confusing. So confusing. This is your first episode, Russell. What? Why? What? When you're writing this down, was it just like, let's just put baby's day out in space? And that's fine. Fair enough. But meh. um, and you're like, okay, there's a bit of a hit and miss there, but it's the first episode. Fair enough. The first episode isn't really the big episode. Not a lot of people are like really enjoy the first episodes of Doctor Who, the very first one, but it's usually the second one will grip you. And oh my god, yes, I truly love this episode, because this has been teased for many years over the whole Doctor Who universe and time, is the Beatles. Now, the Beatles have appeared in Doctor Who before with the first Doctor. They've been mentioned over time. I think their songs have appeared left, right and centre in Doctor Who, but it is always like, what if the Doctor met the Beatles? And what I really loved about this is they don't piss on the Beatles. They don't go like, the Doctor saved them by creating the song that made the Beatles the Beatles. There's none of that there. The Beatles are there perfectly integrated into this episode, and it didn't mess with them. It didn't destroy their lore or anything like that. It was just a nice little stocking filler in the episode, and they weren't the primary focus. Yes, there is moments with the Doctor talking to one of the Beatles, but it's really great. Now, I do love this whole fighting the eternal gods arc, and the one we get is just, chef kiss of villain, which is the Maestro. That outfit is just absolutely fantastic. And the person playing the Maestro just hit every chord just right. That was fucking terrible. That didn't hit the mark wrong. But you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the villain was great. The fact is that this is the offspring of the Toymaker, and as I said in my previous review, having a villain like that is a humongous threat, and now you have its offspring that is just worse, unhinged, literally has broke away from the Toymaker. That's literally went, I'm going to do what I want. And you do get to see another god creation, that the kind of the offspring of the Maestro, which is quite nice. It's like, oh, okay, there's something there. That's quite interesting. I like that. But yeah, what a villain! And I really want that villain to come back. I hope they're not just one-track ponies. That's it. They're gone. They're defeated, and that's it. I'd love to see the Maestro come back. And even with the Maestro, we get this little moment with Ruby that there's like a hidden chord, like song playing through Ruby's soul, and you're like, ooh, okay. And it's perfect Russell T Davies story arcs. There's always the beginning, build up, and then you get the big bad at the end. It's easy. It's nice, perfect storytelling, and I really love this. Then we get the next one. Oh, Jebus. We get the return of Moffat. And do you know what? I give all credit to Moffat, because he did get a lot of crap by the community, people attacking him and stuff like that. And he has come out publicly and talked about how it spoiled it for him. And I give all my respect for a creator to come back, even with all the crap, to come back into something he's passionate about, to do a one-off thing. Now, he's not a showrunner. It's kind of like back to the old days with Moffat. It's like, I'm a writer. I can come in, write a couple of episodes, and then bugger off. I don't have the pressures of a showrunner. And it's great that Russell and Moffat have come back and have done this dynamic. But holy sweet God, we get the episodes that I detest the most. That there's no doctor. It's a non-doctor episode, and usually these ones are just the hyper focus of the companion or soon-to-be companion, or we just, what if the doctor wasn't here type thing. And I'm just like, it was getting me vibes of the Genesis of the Daleks. Now, we get this in the Genesis of the Daleks when it comes to the Fourth Doctor standing on a mine. And it's quickly done. We've defused the mine, we go off, we find out who the hell put the mine, because we're going to slap the living crap out of them for putting the mine down there in the first place. Do we get that? No, we don't get that. We get an entire episode of the Doctor standing on a mine while he's getting his companion to go and seek help. And you've got these soldiers and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, the villain in this story was quite interesting, because it's a global company, and the company basically have deployed onto this planet, massive smoke screen, and the the army that has deployed is killing one another, killing their own men. And it's a very dark way of thinking about the way our society is. It's like, Jesus, that could actually happen one day. We could have these like credits that you don't have the credits to get fixed up. You are a liability. You get annihilated, and then you get uploaded into the AI system of this super tech. It's dark, and fair enough. It was great. AI gone crazy. But good God, like a whole episode, and I don't like those episodes. So this is an episode I'm just like, okay, I get it, and I get behind the scenes parts where like Moffat's like, it's very stressful to try and figure out what to do with this Time Lord. Like, there's very little scenarios you can put him in. And I get that. But the whole name of the series is called Doctor Who. I just call this lazy writing. And fair enough. That's fine. So it's a one-off. It's a one-off. No, it's not a one-off. The next episode, we get another non-doctor episode. And yes, this is the hyper focus on the companion episode. And that's for each episode. Each series has one of those episodes, and it's forgivable. That's fair enough. But not just after one night. If you're going to do those type of things, span them out. Like, Jesus, put one on another episode. Maybe put that as episode 7 and leave this as episode 5. Don't have them next to each other. Because, we're attention starved. We like the Doctor. We like to know what this... We want to get to know this Doctor. And how the hell are we supposed to get to know this Doctor if he's not in the episode? Like, this was, okay, get me right. The concept of this was good. It was a nice horror-themed episode. And Doctor Who doesn't really do a lot of horror like this. It does have elements of it, but this did feel like a horror movie. Like, if you just took this episode out of Doctor Who and made it into a horror movie, it would be a good horror movie. And it was quite good. The fact is, like, this entity is following Ruby all around the place. Anyone who goes up to the thing, we got the whole moment with the unit. Like, you think, oh, I'm safe, I've got unit. They're all abandoning me, what's going on? And everyone who goes near this entity runs away, and Ruby is so alone. And it's nice. We get to see what Ruby's like without the Doctor. We get to see that she doesn't give up, but she tries her best to continue on. What would the Doctor do in that situation? Even though we don't know what the Doctor would do, because to me personally, we don't know what this Doctor is yet. Is he just this dancy, run around, bumbling idiot, or is he serious and dark, or what? It's a mess, really. And yeah, it was a good episode. Don't get me wrong, but I felt a bit burnt out. I felt a bit like, smacked in the face. It's like we got a non-Doctor Who episode, and then we got another non-Doctor Who episode. There's no Doctor. Okay. That's 2. That'll be it, right? There won't be any more. A third, a third episode, my dears. A third episode with no doctor. And don't give me the, oh, he was in the episode. He was a TV screen. He was telling this person, hey, you should watch yourself behind you. Look, there's a giant creature eating you alive. No, it's still a non-doctor episode because you're just like, why? And I remember watching this for the first time going, why? Oh my God, they've done it a third time. Really? Really? And that's the thing about it. Now the whole episode is a nice play on society, the society we are in today. We are so hyper-focused with technology. We never leave our phones. We don't really see each other, unless you're the older generation, the 90s generation that do still can try to continue to meet up with each other. But the new generation hyper focuses on technology. And this is just like an evolution of it. It's like, what happens? Like, oh, there's Billy. Oh, Billy's off today because he's sick. No, Billy got eaten alive by a giant slug. And it's another jump to AI. Like this little tiny ball that you could hockey puck against with a bat, suddenly hates the people that it's working for and decides to. Now, that's the thing I'm confused about. Did this little floaty AI orb create the slugs, or are the slugs outside the forest area and he just let them, he opened up a barrier and let them in? I'll be honest with you, it was such a headache of an episode that I decided not to go back and rewatch it for this review because it just angers me because it's the Fateful Three. It's just annoying as hell. But yeah, this AI system doesn't like people and decides that giant slugs will eat them. And they are like the slowly, oh, look, it's nom nom time, as we've got an entire whole bubble of people to eat and no one is unaware. Everyone's just used to, we do a bit of work, we go to sleep, we stay in contact with each other, and then we get eaten alive. And then we get that moment at the end where we get to see what this doctor could be. This very heart-wrenching moment where the doctor's like, please come with me, I can see if you don't go out there, you're going to die. And they ignore him. Because it's that play on higher, upper class, we are better than you, doesn't matter if you saved us, we are going to go off and do our own thing. I felt it's a bit misplaced for this big speech. This could have been better in a different episode because, as I say, we were attention starved from having no doctor. He's literally a TV screen. Most of the time it's Ruby talking to the character. It just didn't feel right. That's my thoughts on it. Then we get the next episode. It's the episode where I feel it, Russell, for me personally, it's like, forgive me. I've messed with you enough. I've given you 3 no doctor episodes. Now you're getting a whole doctor episode. We get alien cosplayers from space. And it's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because these aliens literally come down to just start shit. They're literally the ultimate trolls of space. Not goblins, but trolls. Completely different thing. But basically what these creatures are, they can literally shapeshift into whatever creature they want to be. And I love that moment that there's like this absolute prick that's there. Like he's just an absolute villainous prick, and the alien who's disguised went, ooh, I like you, I'll have a bit of you. And then takes that form. And their whole plan is to infiltrate the government and just burn the place to the ground. It is just fantastic. And we also get a perfect moment with Ruby's development as a companion. We get to see more of the Doctor. This is what I would say. Now it's kind of sad, the fact that it's like, there's been how many episodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes, my people. 5 episodes, and now we finally get to see the Doctor, like what this Doctor could be. And then we get this like little love interest moment. And I remember there's a bit mixed. Obviously Twitter Who had a little bit of a breakdown. Oh my god, he kissed a person, bastard. But you're like, eh, this is not the first time. I like the fact that there's a love interest, and it wasn't a forced love interest. It wasn't just a I like you, you're going to be this plot device. The whole premise of this space time cop, I thought he was a time agent. Don't get me wrong. I thought, oh, time agents are back. I do love the time agents, and I do hope they come back in some shape or form. But this is a space cop coming to try and fight these alien cosplayers, and mistaken the Doctor as one of them, and then you get this whole flirty dancing like, oh, you know who I am. And I do like that, and it's great to see more character development with this Doctor. I did like this episode. I really loved the whole thing about it. I have no faults with this episode. I even love the fact at the very end that we get to see the Doctor suffer loss for the first time. This incarnation for the first time. Someone sacrificed themselves and the Doctor couldn't do nothing. And it's also a lovely little moment with the companion and the Doctor. It's like there is a real love for both of them. And it was nice feel-good moment. And then we get into the Legend of Ruby Sunday. Like I've been saying the entire time, UNIT has been perfectly created for this series. I really love it. If they are planning to do like multiple like separate TV shows, this was the perfect build-up for UNIT, and done right. And we get to see other people come out. We also get to see Rose return as well. And we get to see Mel return and UNIT. And we get to absolutely tease to living hell where we think we're going to get Susan. I was like, ooh. Now, here's my theory. And you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I think this would have been a perfect way. Now, we were teased with Susan in the second episode, with the Beatles episode, but imagine this as a plot device. Imagine this, right? What I thought was going to happen is Ruby would bump into Susan, and there would be a little moment where Susan would be playing like, hey, you should come with me, that type of thing. But imagine Susan became the villain. Just roll with me. Imagine Susan as the villain of the series. We still get all this, smoke and dagger mist thing, but it's Susan's the villain. Now, think about this. You've got Susan's been left by the Doctor. Whether it was good intentions or not, you are abandoned on a planet. You are this highly intelligent being. You find your true love. You save the planet from Daleks. Your true love passes away. You're trapped. You're trapped in a low technological planet. Then you find out that your entire race has been completely atomized. And the person who's responsible for that is the Doctor. Imagine that turned Susan, it snapped Susan. And imagine the emotional trauma for this Doctor. Like, you can pit him up against the Toymaker, you can pit him up against any villain, but imagine a family member. That is more darker than ever. And that's what I thought this was going to happen. It was like, oh my God, we're going to get Susan, but it's kind of a plot twist. It's not the, hey, we're Granddad, hello Granddad, we're back again, Grandfather, it's great, it's amazing. It's literally, you are the villain. And I think that would have broke the Doctor so much. And I thought that's the way it was going, but we don't get that. We get Sutekh. And I was like, okay, Sutekh. I could live with that. Sutekh, good. I do remember that people were getting really pissed off about the plot hole, if you will. It's like, so this explain. I'm not saying this. I'm just remembering what people were talking about. So because the TARDIS keeps moving all around, but it gets out of control and stuff, it's like, so when the Fourth Doctor defeated Sutekh, did Sutekh then attach to the TARDIS, and that's why the TARDIS has just been out of control the entire time because it's been trying to throw off Sutekh? Or did Sutekh cling on to the TARDIS when the 14th Doctor became the Doctor, and that's where we got that little Genesis of the Daleks moment where it was trying to shake him off? It's very confusing. I don't know. If people in the comment section, if you can help me, and I will read your comments. Don't get me wrong. I do watch your comments. I do like that. But it's confusing. So you're like, okay, Sutekh's been on this, and then the other little part is there two Sutekhs because the Doctor hit the TARDIS with the hammer, and we get two TARDISes, or did Sutekh just still stay on that TARDIS, and that TARDIS doesn't have a Sutekh? It's crazy, but I did like the build up of Sutekh. It's like the little like, we're not getting Susan, we're getting Sutekh, and yeah, like I wish we could have got more. It dragged out a little bit more. I wish we could have had this continue on to series 2. We would have seen more gods, like to name drop the Trickster, and we don't get the Trickster. That was a kick in the balls. Like, I really wanted to see a crossover from a Sergeant Smith Adventures villain in Who, and the Trickster is just such an unappreciated villain, and I think he needs his flowers. Bring him into Doctor Who. But now I think that this is kind of the end of the God arc. I hope not. But yeah, fun episode, a bit of a teased moment, and we don't get what we think we're getting. And then we get the last episode, Empire of Death. Everyone's turned to dust. Sutekh is sitting there on his little TARDIS crown throne going, I'm a badass and there's nothing you can do about it. It felt like the Mummy movies. The big sand demon. I did like that. I thought that was quite fun because it also made me go back and actually watch all the Mummy series movies. I would highly recommend them. Very good watch. But yeah, it got me this whole like death creature. Nothing can stop it. The unit's been completely wiped out. There are very little people left on the planet. The Doctor is under stress trying to figure out how to reboot the planet again. But I did also see people in Twitter universe and all over the place complaining about Sutekh's luck. It's like, we want the Sutekh we've seen in the Fourth Doctor era. We don't want this big dog. But you also have to remember that Sutekh was based in Egyptian god side things. Like, he did have the whole Sutekh mask. And yeah, fair enough, you could do that. But it's still Egyptian themed because it's this big hellhound. I think it's Horus. I might be wrong. I'm not really good with Egyptian history, so don't shoot me, please. But I think that's what they were going with. And great, it's a big giant dog. Blah, blah. But yeah, I did like that. I don't really care what Sutekh looked like. And Sutekh's a god. It can appear in any form it wants to be, and it was great. It was really good to see how they defeated Sutekh, and what a badass way. It's like, okay, you're going to be dragged back into the time vortex and battered all around the place. And that whole sequence was fantastic. But here's my question. It brings me back to a very classic era episode where the Doctor had a doppelganger version of himself. The evil warlord crime guy. I don't know his name. But you know what I'm talking about. And he gets fired out into the time vortex. So my question is this. Do they die in the time vortex, or are they pulled into a different time zone? Because it'd be quite cool. I don't think this is the end of Sutekh. I think he falls through time and space and he'll return back. But it's also kind of sad that this feels like this is the end of the God arc, because it was starting to really be good, because you got the Toymaker, you got Toymaker, you got the Maestro. I wanted more gods. Maybe have a bit of a build up and then have Sutekh, the god of all gods. But, that's me just being a picky little shit. But it was still, it felt like it would have been nice to have more of a God thing. Drag it, move it on into series 2. Like, don't be afraid to just go like quick, tightly compact, leave it that, move on to the next episodes, next series and stuff. Now, my overall review of series 1 is this. It was very up and down. You know, and fair enough, it's his first series back. You know, it's not going to be written in gold and it's going to be perfect. And I know there's people out there who are going to be like, oh my God, you hated these episodes, you absolute twat. But it's just like, hey, you know, it's my opinion. People did want my opinion. This is what I felt. This is, as a fan, this is what I felt watching it. It was just like, Space Goblin, Time Goblin pirates, then Space Babies, then Beatles, and then oh god, oh god, oh god, we got the cosplaying aliens. That's good, that's nice, and okay, these two. It was just like up and down. And the question is, would these be episodes? Could I go back to the series and watch it again? Yes, but I wouldn't watch the episodes that I've said that I don't like. It would be literally the Christmas special. I probably would watch, but maybe get bored halfway through. Definitely Devil's Cord. I would watch Devil's Cord. Miss all 3 of those episodes. Go straight into the Rogue, I think it's called, episode with the cosplaying aliens, and watch the rest of the episodes. So, you know, realistically, that's this is just for the series, not counting the Christmas special. But it's one. I've got my notes. Got my notes this time. But 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 8 isn't bad. You know, it's not like the Chibnall where you're like, could you go back and watch it, or pick episodes you watch and you're like, bleh. Some. But and overall, I could go back and rewatch all this. But yeah, also the fact is, I think what was kind of knocking me out of this whole series was not really getting to know what this Doctor to its core is, because he's absent in a lot of these episodes, you know, and we get that very heart-wrenching speech and what a Doctor speech would be, but it's at the very end of an episode where we don't get really to see the Doctor. So it's kind of like, if you put that in the Rogue episode, yes, fantastic. Or you could put it in any other, or the final episode of the series. Yes, you could do that. But it just felt a bit meh. And don't get me wrong, as we know, there is a Christmas special, and I do have opinions on that. Good opinions, bad opinions, you don't know. You have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, it was just a bit of a bleh. Up and down, up and down. But is it a series that I could say I could rewatch? Yes. With a few episodes I wouldn't watch. But overall, it's a good series. It's the new start of Russell's year. It's forgivable. You know, it's not something, I say, I'm not here to be one of those people that are like, I hate it and I don't like it and it's crap and I don't think he's a good writer. I think everything's terrible. I'm going to throw all my toys out of my pram. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just talking to you guys as a fan and what my thoughts, raw thoughts, were watching this for the first time. And I'm looking forward to series 2. Like, my little tease for the Christmas special, it gives me high hopes for what Russell has for series 2, and I'm looking forward to it. I am actually hoping that this does get continued on. We get series 3, 4, and whatever, because I do like this Doctor. It is very interesting, so it is. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts of series 1. I hope you enjoyed this. I appreciate you all watching this, and I hope you continue to watch the Who Knows series. Thank you for also watching such a long review. They probably won't be as long, because we will be now continuing doing individual episodes of the series, continuing on series 2 and the Christmas special. So they might be more, you know, condensed and more interesting. If you like longer, like, debates like this, I will make the videos, but I just feel a bit self-conscious going, is too long. This is too long. But yes, anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to my blatherings of Doctor Who reviewer. An old Doctor Who reviewer, but nevertheless, I'm here, and we will talk again in episode 3 of the Who Knows series about the Christmas special, and hopefully we will have a guest along with us. One other thing before we go, I have this. Yes, it just arrived just before I was about to finish the review. So this will be the first Penny Cave toy review that I will be putting up on the channel. So keep an eye on this. It will be straight away after I record this. I will be starting to do the review. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the Who Knows episode, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye bye, everybody.